Hello, I'm Johnny Knoxville, and welcome to Jackass. No,
Oh,
no,
copyright.
obviously, I am not Tyler. Everybody's used to seeing Tyler on Friday nights. However, I have the best crew possible with me tonight. We got the Professor Tony back in action after weeks off. The Captain James down there in his hotel room, as per usual, it feels like anymore. And Amber back in the country. You fled the country and now you're back. So
I am.
welcome back.
Yes. Happy Friday.
Oh,
Happy Friday.
Mm.
I was so ready for Friday this week. Oh.
TGIF.
But we still got to wait 2 days for football. So there's that.
I mean, lots happened last night.
Last night was a massacre.
Oh, my goodness.
We almost lost Lamar Jackson, too. At least we got him back.
Oh.
Yeah.
How many fantasy seasons are lost now after last night?
Quite a few.
I can think of quite a few of my leagues that are. I have Andrews and or Burrow in almost all of them.
Well, not even just Burrow, but you've got all the supporting cast, too. I mean, this is a huge blow to Chase, Higgins, although Higgins hasn't been healthy, Boyd, even Mixon.
Especially after that big game that Boyd had last week, and then just seeing it just dive and then Chase. But I was really lucky. I waited, or last minute, it was like 5:12, and I was like, nope, I took Burrow out of all my leagues. I had that feeling. Yeah, swear to God.
Feeling.
My boyfriend looked at me and he's like, Amber, they're playing the Ravens. And I'm like, true story. Click, 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 click. So.
I need your number, Amber. I'm going to text you Sunday mornings before games go live to see if you got any of those
channels.
I need to take out.
Yep. I've got that third eyes wide open now, guys. I'm telling you, I'm ready.
No, what sucks is in one of my dynasties, I traded for Jamar Chase like 2 hours before that game. And then his whole thing went down the tubes. Although he did catch a last minute touchdown still to save the fantasy day. But yeah, that's a tough loss.
That's like finding your car and crashing it on the way home.
Yeah, it kind of felt that way.
I just had a guy trade me 2 first-round picks and some rookies for A.J. Brown and Joe Mixon. He also has Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Mark Andrews on his team. So he's hurting right now knowing he has no future. His season's pretty well done.
Yeah.
He's hurting.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? What does it look like for the Bengals moving forward? Obviously, like we know it's a mess, but I mean, are there opportunities for these guys to even be threes or
Who's
flex?
even the backup there? Like
Browning, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I would knock. I don't see Chase any more than a low wide receiver 3. I mean, I would be very nervous about starting. He had the touchdown catch at the end of the game last night to salvage the night for him. But that team's going to struggle, and they play in a brutal division. They've got a tough schedule remaining anyway. Yeah, I mean, you're hoping to get maybe a low wide receiver 2 game out of him, but it's going to be very spotty.
Yeah.
I think Mixon's the only person I'm even halfway comfortable playing going forward.
I'd be looking to buy Mixon cheap from some people panicking right now.
Everybody's panicking right now.
Oh yeah.
Last night was
like even those first few weeks, like Mixon was only putting up like maybe 10, 12 points those first few weeks when they were bad, when they were trying to throw the ball. So I don't think he's a total loss. I think he'll be just fine. Like he's been reasonably consistent, and he's been at worst average for a running back, which is pretty good considering this season we've had literally anything from injuries to inconsistencies to anything else. So if you can get him for cheap, I think that's well worth it.
Also, go get Jamar Chase in Dynasty for next year. Higgins too. Go get him for next year.
Let me say this: if you're on the other side of that, move Burrow, move Chase to your IR, and forget about them. Don't get tempted to sell these guys and move them cheap.
Yeah, I agree. Albert in the house. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Albert.
He's excited to see Tony. He's been here every show, every night on the network and finally gets a Tony sighting.
I'm here for Albert. I'm here for you, Albert.
He shows up on Wednesdays and he says hello, and then he's out. And I'm like, that's all right, I'll take it.
Love to have him on for a fan interview.
Every night he'll just pop in and let us know he's there, and then just watch quietly. Just kind of
the background.
Just kind of lurk in the shadows and enjoy the
show. We need to have a fan appreciation episode where we bring Albert on.
We should.
Yeah, we got to do that.
I've told Corey that before with Albert and some of these guys that are on here like a lot.
Yeah.
What's funny is our regulars have kind of changed from year to year. Albert's the only one that's been here, I think, every single year.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta have like call-ins or something. Get that set up. Yeah. If they don't want to be on camera,
Yeah, you'll have to like DM us your email address. We'll get you a link to a show one of these days. You can pop on and let us see your face. Or at least let us hear your voice.
Yeah.
All right, let's go over here since we don't have any questions in the chat yet. Starting out kind of slow here tonight. We're an hour early.
People are missing Tyler.
Their shows, so I guess people are not ready.
We are an hour early, right? I'm not crazy. I thought.
Yeah, me and Corey usually do, an hour later. But this one's always on this, and since I'm just covering, I stayed in the time slot. So,
all right,
we'll pop over here and we'll just answer some of these questions off of the Fantasy Football Advice Network, and hopefully some people start popping in here. So A-Dot asks, do you trade Mostert for McBride? His current running backs are James Cook, Aaron Jones, James Conner, and then he has Pitts at tight end.
I don't want to start that one.
Who are his running backs? I can't.
His running backs are James Cook, Aaron Jones, and Conner. And then Pitts is his tight end. Tony, we'll just go ahead and start with you.
Who is his tight end? Pitts?
Pitts.
No, I do that. I think, well, first off, Mostert has not been healthy. Mostert is dealing with some injuries. He's got ankle injuries. He's got knee injuries he's dealing with. We have Achane coming back from IR. He's healthy, ready to roll this weekend. You got Jeff Wilson in the mix. And, I think if you can upgrade and grab a McBride, especially we saw Andrews go down. Name the top 3 tight ends rest of the season. Kelsey, Hawkinson, and probably the way McBride's been playing, and now with Kyler Murray in that offense. One other thing, too, about Arizona, they have the friendliest playoff schedule in week 16 and 17 with Chicago and Philly. Very, very pass-friendly defenses. So 15, they have San Francisco, but if you can get through them, you're in a really good spot for 16 and 17. So I like to swap out Mostert for McBride myself. I do that.
I think I would slide Laporta in there still above.
Yeah, even Kincaid's been coming on hot and late.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this.
3 weeks.
Laporta has been nice, but look, we've now got Montgomery's healthy, Gibbs is healthy, Gibbs is coming on. I'm not trying to knock Laporta, but they've got other options on that offense, and the defense has been playing good ball. So
yeah, but Laporta's been doing it all season, despite who's been healthy and who hasn't been.
True.
Fair enough. I think I'd still take McBride over him.
So here's the other thing too, is that with James Cook, with Dorsey getting fired, like there's definitely going to be more opportunities. I think for James Cook, they haven't been utilizing him as much as they should have been, and I do see an increased workload coming as well. So again, we have no idea what that.
Or we see Fournette get that work.
Huh?
Or we see Fournette get some work. Like he's been sitting there just learning the playbook the last 2 weeks.
True.
And he's a better goal line guy. Dude's super solid, great pass catcher as well.
He'd be better than Latavius Murray.
Let me at least say this: Mostert for McBride it's a fair swap.
Yeah, no, I'm all about this trade. I took issue with who you had above him in the tight end ranks for the year.
value wise, I think it's fair. Mostert and McBride. It's just you get such an upgrade over Pitts, who you can't trust.
Yeah. I'd sooner package Mostert with Pitts and try to do a little bit better, maybe.
There you go.
That might work. Just
Maybe
see
we'll-
how much. Because I don't know, McBride's fine, but I mean, isn't Ertz supposed to be coming back in a few weeks?
Yeah, but who's trading? I'm not trading for Pitts. Who's trading for Pitts?
I don't know, but
Whoever
it's
just
still,
lost
I don't know,
Andrews. Whoever
I mean,
Andrews
McBride
might.
just isn't screaming to me like a super good value is all. Like he really was. Everyone was complaining that Ertz existed before he got hurt. Now McBride's finally getting something, but I mean, it's still like he's not knocking it out of the park by any means. Like I think he can do better than McBride personally for Mostert. I mean, there's been so many like tight ends. Surprisingly, it's been surprisingly very average and a very okay place to be this year. There's a ton of guys that are just putting up 10 points almost every week.
Yeah, the double digits is, I mean, that's really all you can expect, unless you have the top tier guys, right? So,
Yeah.
McBride's target share has been awfully strong, James. He was a leading target getter last week. He's been pulling in the receptions, routes run. He's up there. He's second or third on the team routes run. After Marquise Brown, he's got to be your 1B option in that offense. So I got to disagree with you on McBride. I like the swap out. I think sell Mostert and if you get upgrade at tight end, it does give you a bit of an advantage based on what's out there. Like you said, it's almost been a middling year this year at the tight end position. You got a couple of standouts. Laporta certainly has been coming on, or has been playing well all season. You got Kincaid has been coming on. Andrews out. Kelsey hasn't necessarily put up a Kelsey type year. Hawkinson looked amazing last week, and that's who kind of McBride reminds me of. He's kind of just a volume tight end, and it's so difficult to find a tight end that's going to get you 8, 9, 10 targets a game. He's one of, like I said, he's one of 2 or 3.
All right, let's jump back over here to the chat. We actually got a question now. So my QB was Burrow, and he died. So he did. He actually died. Me and Andrews are buried next to each other. Has trade offers for Howell, Purdy, Allen, and Kyler at the moment. Connor for Howell or Purdy. Connor and Amari for Kyler, or Mike Evans for Josh Allen. You like any of these?
If you have the wide receiver depth, getting Josh Allen's definitely a great thing to do.
I'd rather trade Evans for Allen than Connor for anything.
Yeah.
Well, especially like not Purdy. Like Howell's weird. He's just not consistent.
It is. Yeah. But here's the thing. Burrow was what was the past 3-4 games, but either way, he hasn't been as consistent.
His team's in the next comment there.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Oh, there we go.
So, no QB. He has Pollard, ETN, Connor, Kyron, Allen, Debo, Amari, Evans, Ridley, and Kittle.
Wait, is this part of the other question?
Yeah,
yes.
it's his
this
roster.
is his team for.
Got it.
So it looks like if he trades Evans for Allen, he's still got Allen,
Keenan Allen, Debo, and Amari,
and Ridley. Like I'm okay with that personally.
Yeah.
And Kyron should be coming back. What, week 12?
Week 12.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
that's one more week.
You trade Evans for Josh Allen right now, you're right back in the playoff picture instantly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and then Pollard, I expect an upswing, for week 11. But I'm praying for one, if anything. But
Definitely praying for one. I like to.
He's just been in my lineup. I haven't even looked, and I was like, I went and looked today because I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to talk to people in public, and I was like, oh wow, you've just left him in here every game. This is great. Every week.
I like to think they're going to use the Carolina Panthers to get that run game going again, but we'll see.
I'll be honest. I think out of those, I like the Amari, Connor, and I know you don't want to trade Connor, but with Pollard, ETN, and Kyron coming back, I almost like getting Murray. And I don't know that I trust Amari with Deshaun Watson out. Mike Evans has been a beast. I mean, that guy's been playing top. I mean, he's a rock solid wide receiver one rest of the season. And Kyler, I'm telling you, Arizona's got a nice schedule. Kyler Murray was a top 5 quarterback until he got hurt last year. So I kind of like grabbing Kyler, getting him a little cheap cheap. I don't have any problems moving off of Connor. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I like getting Kyler Murray.
I'm just really uncomfortable this year trading away running back depth.
Yeah.
But he's sitting
especially
on Pollard, and Kyron.
Especially for a quarterback that has not been consistent in the past. Like Kyler scares the crap out of me. Like the dude is one hit away from playing scared. Like
okay. He's
also a potential league winner rest of the season.
He just added this too. Do you like Connor more or Swift? So he said he would do a RB swap in the Josh Allen deal.
Oh, that's different.
So if you do Evans and Connor for Allen and Swift, like,
or is Josh Allen dead too? No, I'm just kidding. I was like, everybody's dead. Oh no.
Autocorrect.
All right, back to the question. Sorry. I'm drinking wine tonight.
Would you do that one? Evans and Connor for Swift and Josh Allen.
What does the roster construction look like? What are you starting? Is it two RBs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex?
Probably.
Or are you starting 3 wide receivers?
That's pretty typical.
Yeah, I know, but I'm in 5 leagues. Every roster construction is different.
Tony up to his old tricks. We assume 2-2 and a flex unless they say otherwise. Basically.
Well, even if it's 2-3 and a flex, he leaves Ridley or Amari.
You've got 4 running backs.
This is true, right?
It almost. I'll be honest with you. Me personally, it almost. Okay, so that's what it is. So it here. Listen, it simplifies your roster decisions every week because what you're going to kill yourself trying to decide what 2 running backs to decide when you've got 4 of them. Kyron is going to be that guy was a rock solid RB1. Pollard hasn't been himself. ETN. I mean, you're starting ETN and Kyron. You got your receiver set with Allen, Debo, and Evans. I mean, that's the way I'd go. That's my opinion. I'm going to shut up.
I just don't think Kyler is worth both of them. Like Kyler at best is worth Amari on his own. Like that's my opinion. Like Kyler's done nothing to show that.
The problem
he is worth market
to his players. For him, right? For him, though, they're trying to take advantage of the fact he has no QB, so he doesn't get to dictate that, unfortunately.
But I mean, if you can swap Evans and Connor for Swift and Josh Allen, that's a home run.
I like that deal. But I like the chance that, but I like what you're saying, Tony, about the chance you can take. I mean, I'm not in on Kyler either, but if you have some kind of if that's your guy in some sort of way, Chandler, it's not a bad deal either. I know we're not being very helpful, but I'm all in on the Swift Allen situation. I'm about that. So
I like
you just lost Burrow, and so it's kind of like drastic times call for drastic measures. Take a swing for the fences. You're giving up Evans.
Kyler ain't the fences, though. Kyler at best is a single.
Okay. We could disagree. I mean, he's
a
quarterback,
but still, he's not a home run.
It might be a chance to get in on Kyler before his value, shoots up. So that's the route I would go.
This year's just made me real squeamish on trading away running backs, especially when
2, maybe 3 years.
What?
What?
Sorry.
What did you say?
I didn't hear him because I was talking, so I didn't hear him over myself.
Sorry, I missed you. I missed you as well. No, I said Kyler though. The problem with him is everyone thinks he's this top 5 quarterback, which he can be for a few weeks, but he hasn't. No one has drafted him as that for the last few years for a reason. The guy's good for 6 weeks, gets hurt, and then he's done. He started off hurt, and he didn't really look fantastic last week. I don't know what people. I don't know. There's so many better things. Baker Mayfield's been fine the last few weeks. I'd be better trading off literally anyone, one player for him. I feel like he's free. You could trade away a 2nd or a 3rd round pick for him. This is a good roster. I don't think we need to be overselling our depth, especially in a year when we're losing guys left, right, and center. and Kyron's available to come back next week doesn't mean he is coming back next week. Like, it's weird. Like, it's especially this year, depth is everything, and we're seeing that. Like this whole, like you had one quarterback, and now you're absolutely having to sell because you have no depth. So don't make yourself thinner anywhere else. That's my whole thing, especially for Kyler. Like, if you're going to trade 2 players, get a premium guy that has been premium. Because Kyler's a buy low. He's not a buy high. Sending Connor and Amari, I think, is way too much. That's all I'm saying.
Cheers.
Sorry. I got really quiet.
No, I like it. I mean, because I agree with you. I went back and looked at what he's, the deals that he has, and I understand. But I also understand, Tony, where you're coming from, because like I mean, I looked at his stats. I didn't watch not one football game last week, guys. I did watch highlights, but I'm looking at his stats, and I'm like, there's potential there, right, for him to.
I think what you're saying also applies to the receiver position too. You do make a fair point on Kyron. We don't know that he's coming back next week.
True. Yeah.
He's pretty deep at running back. He's got 4 solid guys. You're starting 2 of them. It's just Evans has been that's a huge blow to his starting lineup, moving Evans. That's the last guy I would want to trade, off of that starting lineup rotation at the receiver position. So he takes a major ding there, and Buffalo's been having some issues. As much as I've got Allen all over the place too, and there's some question marks there. So, but I hear you.
Maybe he counters with something else then for Allen. But either way, I think I get Josh Allen there.
He just threw out his waivers too. Who's on waivers? And I'm like, yeah, that's awful. So.
Yeah.
Oh no, who is it?
I'm not doing that.
Yuck.
Yeah.
I do think I will say this, Chandler. If you do decide to trade for Josh, I would definitely. I'd grab the upgrade with Swift. Swift is kind of bucking his injury history here this season, and has been able to stay on the field. But I do like his upside and potential rest of season over somebody like Connor. I'm just, Connor is another guy who can't stay healthy. So,
all true.
I wonder if you could. Would you sell Amari for Sam Howell, Tony?
I would do that.
Yeah, I would do that.
I'd try that trade.
I would do that.
Like Howell's an interesting player, and I'm like he's inconsistent. I look back. It seems to be doing pretty well lately. So, in Amari, there is worry there. In the 3 games that Watson, he was okay in 2 of them. I say he was only okay. So, he only wants a running back. Damn.
Trading Kyron. I'd trade Kyron before I'd trade Connor, I think.
Yeah, but Kyron for Howell is too much.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, but maybe you can get a little something back, too. I wouldn't do it 1 for 1. And I'd definitely trade for Howell before Purdy.
Yeah.
Of course these guys are selling for running backs. Everybody needs running backs.
Mm-hmm.
You have all the power with the running back. These guys want running backs.
Well, let me ask you guys this question. I know if it's okay we do this, Kyle, because we're not necessarily answering the question here. But rank those running backs for me rest of season. Let's say Kyron does come back next week.
Back up there so you can see them all.
For me, it's ETN.
Let's say for argument's sake, we are getting Kyron back. How would you rank those 4 guys?
I'd probably go ETN, Kyron, Connor, Pollard. Pollard's so weird.
How crazy is that?
The struggles switching Pollard and Connor. And I was ready to eat crow on Pollard this season, and it's so weird that he's only been what he's been.
What type
What's
of
funny
guy?
is early in the year, the offense sucked. Now the passing game's going, and they're just not giving it to him. I'm like, at some point, they got to start giving him the damn ball. Last week, he would have if they didn't have such a big lead. They gave it to Dowdle instead. It's like, okay. Last week was the first time all season that Pollard did not have a target in the passing game. Like, that's wild. Last week, I'd go ETN, Connor, Pollard, Kyron probably. I like Connor a lot.
Yeah. So
you,
for the
you had
sake of
Kyron last?
Yeah.
What? How?
Yeah, justify that for me.
Because he's been hurt?
Kyron,
Daryl Henderson's
Kyron
involved
under Pollard.
I think Daryl Henderson's involved going for it. I don't think it's 100% Kyron's backfield anymore.
Henderson is the best in a group of like trash pandas.
Kyron's not exactly the best running back in the planet. He won't even be the starter next year. He's going to get
I think he will.
in the offseason.
He's been stellar.
He looks pretty good. Like
he's been stellar for them.
We'll see.
Like
He couldn't get out
Kyron's that small, shifty guy. Like A-Chain is Kyron on steroids. Like A-Chain's amazing. What everyone loves about A-Chain, people should be liking about Kyron. Like Kyron was great at a Notre Dame, super bursty, similar to James Cook. Running up the middle wasn't his strong suit, but he could do it. But he was also tiny, great run blocker for his size. Like he's very good. I'm so happy he got his chance because he's done everything right. I think he's earned that spot. Like if they want a third down big bruiser Brian Robinson type, by all means. But yeah, Kyron's been fantastic in that spot.
So what about? I mean, Pollard still has value. He's got a juicy matchup this weekend. What about a Pollard Amari package for Josh Allen?
Yeah, try that. Just don't trade ETN, whatever you do.
Yeah. I'd feel.
I'm willing to play with anything else. Just don't trade ETN.
I just hate losing Evans. I hate losing Evans in that deal. Just with your receivers, you're gonna grab a quarterback, but I feel like you weaken your receivers.
Yeah, I think they're it's revving up too. Like Baker and him are, clearly revving up. So
this move I don't like. Kyron for Mostert and Howell, I don't like that so much.
But again, this goes into not knowing if Kyron will be back week 12. Excuse me, apparently I'm losing my voice.
Yeah. And I don't hate it.
Yeah, it's not awful. And Howell again,
Howell's the number 5 quarterback right now.
Yeah.
I'm getting offers left and right for him, and I'm like, just because you're sending me offers, I'm keeping him.
Yeah.
Here's my issue.
A little higher than Mostert for the secondary piece.
Here's my issue.
I mean, Kyron's your 4th running back, Kyle.
I hit a wrong button. Hold on, sorry.
I don't think you heard
it. Just because he's my 4th guy doesn't mean he's more valuable than any of that other junk.
Is my mic working?
Yeah.
I hear you.
Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear me. You keep talking right over me.
Yeah, we're like, well, I'm laughing. So I'm laughing at what Captain said to Kyle, but Kyle didn't hear him because you were talking.
Oh, what did he say?
The sport is my season, and since I'm hosting, I'm taking advantage and talking to everybody else this time.
And I'm just laughing in the corner in my sunset over here, so it's fine. Sorry, Tony, what were you saying?
What did you? I missed what James said because I was talking. What did he say?
He said Kyron was my 4th running back, and I'm like, just because he's my 4th doesn't mean he's less valuable than that other junk.
Gotcha.
The other guy has.
You guys got to understand. This is my first time on this season, so I'm trying to make up for 11 weeks worth of talking here.
Yeah. Oh, go right on ahead. I'm good.
So here's my issue with Howell, who I think, James, you're right. But, of course, you got to make it to the playoffs for this to matter. But weeks 15, 16, and 17, he has at the Rams, at the Jets, and San Francisco. That's a brutal, brutal lineup. I mean, I don't know that I don't want Howell. If I get to the fantasy playoffs, I can tell you that. I don't care how great he's been playing.
Well, and that is a worry with how you want a quarterback that's consistent. As much as he can boom to win you some weeks you shouldn't, he's going to lose you. You could lose you a week. You deserve it, and that's what happens in playoffs.
And one other thing, Howell hasn't had his bye yet, so you've also got a bye. You got to eat with him too. So
yeah,
you can figure out what you're going to do in week 14 with his bye week. I'm not digging the Howell thing.
You gotta hate those late buys. I hate late buys.
Yeah, week 13 is going to be nasty. I don't want any part of it.
I hate late buys for fantasy. I hate early buys for my real team because it's like now you got to go the whole rest of the season to the playoffs without a break. So I wish Dallas had a week 13 bye instead of that week 7 bye we had.
Yeah.
Okay. Change of gears here. Michael Porter wants to know, what do you think about Kincaid for Mostert? If you're receiving Kincaid, I'm about it. I don't know which way this is going from reading this.
Yeah.
I'd want to know the tight end depth because Kincaid's been great. It's kind of close for me. Like if you're desperate for running backs and he's like your second tight end, maybe.
We need a little context there, Mr. Porter.
Yeah, he has Hawkinson.
Yes, Kincaid and Hawkinson.
Oh, okay.
Then, I would trade Kincaid for Mostert to get a running back then. Obviously, that's what you need, but I think you can do better. If that's the best you can get and you need a running back, sure, but I would rather aim higher.
So here's my concern with that. I'm going to kind of steal one from James's book here, page from your book, James. With the way we've seen players go down recently, Hawkinson's already dealing with an oblique injury. The problem with that is you're going to be awfully thin at tight end if anything happens to Hawk. I love depth there at that tight end position. I think value-wise it's fair, but Mostert carries some question marks. He's dealing with ankle and knee injuries, and HN is coming back from IR. So I would probably sit tight with both. It's nice to be sitting on both Hawk and Kincaid. And another thing too is, I guess they share the same bye week, so that kind of sucks for you. Buffalo, Minnesota, both.
That is very unlucky.
Well, and Mostert's fresh off his now. They were off last week, so hopefully he got some health coming his way now. Reset, come out of the bye week like he started the season.
Hopefully,
I would say. He has Jake Ferguson too.
Oh shit!
He sticks up hands like I do.
Don't run with that, Mr. Porter. Okay.
He's on little tight end rooms going over.
I'm pretty sure I started Kincaid and Ferguson in the same league last week as like flex and tight end because I was like super thin and everything else, and I was like, fuck it.
I feel like Michael Porter here might have been like a long pen pal for like Corey and Kyle years ago when they were like, we love tight ends, just writing to everyone they can that would listen, and they just take advantage of pen pals.
Long lost brother.
Like, that's a good idea.
I agree. Oh my god, I agree.
Yeah, he's a long lost brother we didn't know we had.
One quick point on Kincaid too. I mean, so kind of in favor of making the deal for your sitting on. I love how he puts like an ace up the sleeve. And by the way, dang, we got Knox is going to be coming back soon.
Hawkinson and Ferguson.
And so, what does Dawson Knox do to Kincaid once he's back healthy on the field?
Do you really think he's gonna? Is he going to affect that though? Do you think that Knox is really going to eat into that workload? Because Kincaid has been doing really well.
I mean,
he'll be a blocker only.
Yeah, but Knox
gave the guy an $80 million contract. I don't know what they were thinking when they did that, but I mean,
true.
A guy $80 million to sit on the bench, so maybe they run more two tight end sets. I don't know. I agree with you, Amber. I love Kincaid. I was all over him all off season.
But that's a great point to bring up though, because it's obvious like. Who do you want Kincaid for Mostert? I think it might be a good idea, especially going into playoffs. Like you might.
I'm just not big on the Mostert. I'm not feeling it. I'd rather get a guy like if you can get a Javonte Williams or somebody like that. Maybe get someone who thinks they're selling high on David Montgomery, somebody like that. If you're going to move Kincaid, I just would rather have those types of players over a Mostert who cannot stay healthy. I'm a Miami guy. I live in South Florida.
Oh, and he doesn't even need a running back. His running backs are fine. Oh my gosh. You greedy man, you.
He's in a 14 league or something, apparently.
I know, that's what I was just going to say. Is it just you, Porter? Is this just your league? You and you only?
Him, he has 4 teams, and he plays them all against each other.
The buy-in's $200 a piece. That's wonderful.
But I think if we've learned anything so far in this show, it's that the professor is a little rusty, and he likes depth at tight end, but not at running back. So there's that.
That's not true.
Well, there he goes. He said he needs a wide receiver. That's where you need to be going with your tight end depth.
Yeah.
He said it's a 10-team league, but I think he's lying there.
Monty getting healthy, Khalil Herbert coming back. You could put Kyron and Kincaid in a package for a really nice wide receiver.
Like Mike
People
Evans.
are desperate.
They're right, Tony.
They really are.
Mike Evans.
Yeah, I mean, I love Mike Evans, but I think if you're talking about, value-wise, if you're talking about moving Kincaid, a couple of names that would really jump out to me, I think that you can buy a little cheap on are Puka. Puka's kind of been forgotten about a little bit. You might be able to swoop in and take him. Stafford's kind of coming back. Tank Dell looks legit. I think Dell, a guy, especially with that schedule paired up with C.J. Stroud. I would be looking for guys like that, even in Olave, who has been kind of under delivering this year. Those are the types of guys I'd be looking at trying to pick up with the Kincaid.
Yeah. What I say to keep an eye out for too, which is somebody you can buy low on probably, is Jaden Reed. I really think that he's going to move forward the rest of the season with more touches. I mean, we've seen Watson's not, doing what we thought he was going to do. And, Dobbs is inconsistent. So I think Jaden Reed's going to be the man for the rest of the season. So that's a buy low. So at least in my opinion.
That means you can get Reed plus something though for a King.
Right, exactly.
In a 10-team league, he might be on waivers though.
He might be. He is on most of
might be right.
a lot of my 10-teamers, he is. Yeah.
Another guy packaging Kyron and Kincaid, you can get a stud wide receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
you got to sell it too. You got to sell the Kyron coming back because some people don't buy it. You know what I mean? Just make sure you're sales.
Yeah, like a 10-team league, you don't need 3 tight ends. So I think you should be packaging one in with someone else.
Yeah, put Kyron and Kincaid and go get like Olave
or even Pollard and
Wilson or something crazy. Go get something good.
Let me ask you this question: if you're trying to get and I hear what you're saying, James. So I think in that case, you're probably looking at trying to get a Keenan Allen type guy, right? Is that what you're thinking, somewhere in that? Because you're not going to be able to pull Amon-Ra or CeeDee Lamb or somebody in that.
I don't even know if you could pull a Keenan Allen. He's been so good this year, especially with Williams out, and no one else looks good other than Keenan Allen. And Quentin Johnson is looking like everything people were worried about for. Palmer's still there somehow. It's weird. If you can get Keenan Allen, I'd be ecstatic.
I was going to throw out, what do you guys think of? What do you think of a Justin Jefferson? What do you think his value looks like, and whether or not you can get him? Especially, with Cousins is not there, so what do you think that looks like in a potential offer?
I think Dobbs looks very good, and I think with Jefferson this close to return, I think his price is getting higher every day.
And the Vikings have been winning since he's been out.
Yeah,
this team was supposed to roll over and die, and then so he could take the rest of the year off. They're in it now, and Dobbs is a serious man. He's a serious man.
He is definitely a serious man. Here's the thing, the first 2 rounds of a draft, and you probably heard this before, not where seasons are won, it's where seasons are lost. You can't afford to miss a pick at that level. And so whoever took Justin Jefferson took him at the 101 spot. You wonder what that record looks like, and if he's kind of desperate for a win. And again, desperate times call for desperate measures.
Target him.
Hey, I can't sit on this guy anymore. I got to move him now and get something.
Yeah, and even throw down.
That's a great point.
There's no guarantees coming back next week. Dobbs has already got his targets. Jefferson ain't it for him. Throw doubt in that guy's face.
Yeah.
Definitely go after him.
Be the salesman, snake oil.
Yeah.
That's smart. Smart though. I like that though. I like the going after Jefferson. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen, but it's funny because we don't know if Dobbs, if that was a 1 week wonder. Obviously we know he's a serious man. He's good. He's been good, right? We know that, but I mean, we'll see what happens. Everybody's got their doubts, I think, and people that play well when they come onto a new team. So
Yeah, just spam that package out there. Like Keenan Allen, Justin Jefferson, just literally everyone. Just spam it.
Problem is, there's a
Spam it to
bunch
every
of guys
team
in
in
the
your
league.
league and see who bites.
Problem is, there's a bunch of guys in these leagues who never respond to those messages. Just keep sending them messages over and over and over and over again, and they don't even kind of.
Hey, they
gotta try DMing that.
They don't allow cell phones on airplanes, Tony, even in the cockpit.
Even in the cockpit. I had no, I'm not kidding. While I was gone, I had 13 trade offers, and I was like, nope, I'm in paradise. I'm not looking at any of these. And they were trash. Don't get me wrong. I'm getting James, what was it? They wanted, who'd they want? I can't think of Dell. They wanted somebody for Jamison Williams in a 2025 third or something.
That's Scotty. Scotty's floating JMO to everybody.
I wasn't trying to put names out there, Kyle.
He's putting JMO in those picks out there for anybody he can get.
Oh man, I'm telling you, it's all right.
I had to bust Scotty's balls. He was busting mine first.
Yeah,
I was giving him a hard time about Najee the other night on Queen's Ransom show.
Mm-hmm.
He's still in a love affair with that guy now that even though he's the number 2 now, so that's kind of hilarious. I was teasing him about it.
This is great. We've got 40 minutes of content out of one trade question.
I know, I love it.
Well, no, we had 2 trades in the chat and one over here.
We're just milking this one.
Did we ever actually answer the Chandler's question? Did we ever actually answer his question though? Because I feel like we
gave
all over
plenty of material to think about. And
too many options.
He's gonna have to make his own.
What
decision.
even was the question?
It was those 3 quarterback trades.
That's the same person?
No, it's 2 different.
That wasn't Porter. It was Chandler.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, let's hop out here for a minute.
Yeah, let's see what's going on over here. It's something else.
Jorge wants to know, you playing Dolphins D or Steelers D this week?
I need to look at that.
Man, that cuts right to my heart. I'm a diehard Raiders fan, so I'm not really down. I don't want I think. Boy, I think you got to start Steelers. It's a great matchup for them. Watson's out. They're starting the rookie. I'm definitely leaning and it would go with that Steeler defense.
The Steelers defense has been amazing all year, and playing against a rookie quarterback in Cleveland isn't gonna change that. So yeah, I'm
even that aside, Cleveland's been the number 2 matchup for opposing defenses. So it's a great matchup for the Steelers.
It is. I like the Steelers. It is. Pardon me. It is a good matchup for the Dolphins too. Don't get me wrong, but it's a better matchup.
And that's not true. That's not true.
It is.
Vegas is legit, baby. I'm telling you.
Aiden O'Connell.
Antonio Pierce is bringing it.
It's horrible.
We're just letting them have their moment.
Aiden O'Connell was not it, sir. I mean, they were so bad in Vegas that you started claiming the Dolphins the last couple of years. So I don't even consider you a Raiders fan anymore.
No, that's not true. Look, I think
he has no Raiders players on any teams.
I'm not going against any team where the head coach drives a 64 Cherry Red Impala.
What's wrong with Cherry Red?
I love it. I'm saying I'm not. Do you see Antonio Pierce's ride? He's got that 64. It was all over. It went viral this week. He's got that 64 Chevy Impala Cherry Red.
That's a bad dude right there.
Oh yeah, I love it.
He's a
commands respect.
Okay, here we go. Trade question was offered Sutton for Ayuk and Kyler. Already has Prescott and Dobbs. So we got what? Come on.
That's not a legit offer, is it?
That can't be.
Surely not.
Really serious.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Sutton can't catch the ball.
Kyler for Sutton is fine. Kyler and Ayuk for Sutton is dumb.
Yeah, but that should be reversed. Ayuk is an upgrade over Sutton.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Don't give Kyler and Ayuk for Sutton. That's silly.
But especially after that game, like, why would you even? Why? What? I'm so lost. That's
I don't know.
the last game.
This guy is confused.
Well, he's a Bears
Don't you-
fan. I understand.
You can speak to that, can't you?
I understand. Duh, Bears.
He's like, I have Prescott and Dobbs, so let's just give him away for a downgraded receiver. No, don't give
I would
Kyler
love to.
a downgraded receiver. What the hell?
Yeah, don't do that.
We should have even put this one on screen. This is insanity. What are these people doing? Oh, that had Thursday night written all over it. Anybody post anything today? Oh, here we go. Review and advice on the trade proposal. Oh boy, gets Garrett Wilson, Edwards, and Andrews for Kelsey. Oh, this
We're
was
not doing it now.
no. This was posted after that game. What the heck? That has to be Dynasty, but that. All right, skip it. Skip it. People are posting weird stuff on the network today. What's going on?
That's definitely a dynasty one.
It has
Like
to
a guy.
be. A dynasty one.
It's got to be a guy that's like win now.
If he is, then
Absolutely
do it.
stacked.
It has to be.
I mean, you have to have another tight end for that to be
I
the
mean,
case,
honestly,
though, right?
if that is Dynasty, which it has to be, like, you have to do that.
You
Get
have
Garrett
to.
Wilson and Andrews for an aging Kelsey because the guy wants to win now. Go for it.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm with it. I don't. Whatever.
If I'm this guy, like, that's desperate to win now if you're trading that kind of capital off for Kelsey. And Kelsey's not, Tony said it earlier, he's not even having really a Kelsey type season, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, do it.
I see a lot of desperation being thrown out there, and we going into week 11 here.
Dude, people are freaking out because everybody's getting hurt left and right.
That's what the waiver wire is for. It's not good, but still.
So I guess this is a trade that this guy already accepted. He just wants to know our thoughts. He was offered Tank Dell and Laporta for Bijan. He gave Bijan for Tank Dell and Sam Laporta. And I think that totally depends on the roster makeup.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, like, that's tough.
I really, really like Laporta and Dell, though. Like,
I do too, especially Laporta. I'm all about Laporta.
yeah.
Man, I got Tank Dell at the end of the draft by trading away my 5th next year because some guy threw him in the 4th and then didn't realize another player he wanted was there. So I gave him my 5th next year to get Tank Dell. I couldn't believe it.
That's
It's
great.
awesome.
No, I love those guys too. I just can't imagine you have enough depth at running back to trade Bijan for those guys.
I was offered Tank for Bijan. I accepted. Sorry, I'm late to the party. That's the rust coming out. God.
Tony dozed off over there. He just woke up. He's like, "Oh shit, I'm on a show still, huh?" I was like,
Oh, yeah, I forgot. It's been a while. Sorry, guys.
I mean,
What do
if
you
Arthur
think?
Smith was still doing Arthur Smith things, I would say that's maybe an even trade, but I don't know. Bijan's he's so good.
Yeah.
Bijan is really good.
And like maybe Arthur Smith's just trying to secure a high quarterback pick. Maybe that's what it is. They just want a high draft pick at every position on the offense.
They're tanking for Caleb.
Yeah, or literally anyone else. Like, oh goodness, literally any quarterback.
I hate
Bo Nix, literally anyone.
I hate answering trade questions without seeing the roster and just knowing full context because I don't know what this guy's roster looks like. Value-wise, you did great. To get Dell and Laporta, I think you did great. I personally am looking to buy Bijan right now if I can get him, just because he looks like I know it's one game. Arthur Smith took a beating not using Bijan the way that he should be using him over the first half of the season here. And again, not to overemphasize the importance of schedules, but Atlanta just has a just it easily the top schedule in the playoffs for fantasy, looking at Carolina.
Well, that was weird.
That was weird.
Jeez, Kyle just doesn't like listening to Tony, I guess.
Dude, no, like
Interrupts him.
He was like, "You're out of here."
Just cancels the
Streamlabs
broadcast
glitched.
altogether.
hard.
I was like, what just happened?
No, my whole Streamlabs thing just went like refreshed itself or something. It was weird.
It exploded.
It was weird. But anyways, Tony, you were saying, sorry.
I don't know where I cut off, but just talking. What I was saying is that I'm buying Bijan. He's got. I feel I get the sense based on seeing his utilization in that last game. I think the noise has finally gotten to Arthur Smith. He's been getting an earful over the past couple of weeks, not utilizing Bijan, especially a couple of weeks ago where we saw him get two snaps in the game. So we saw him get the type of volume we were expecting to see him receive. And they just, the schedule he has over the fantasy playoffs, 15, 16, and 17, Carolina, Indy, and Chicago, it doesn't get that much better than that for a running back. So I kind of like that schedule. And look, if you're making trades now, you're definitely have an eye towards the playoffs. At least I would. I mean, if you're not, why trade?
Have a look at the Pittsburgh schedule and try to decipher that mess of a running back room. Like, it's a nice playoff schedule for Najee and Warren.
Right, but who's it going to be? Because it looks like Warren's taking over that backfield.
It's going to
what
be
a
Warren.
waste of a nice schedule.
Yeah, Indy, Cincy, and Seattle.
Play Warren.
People were trying to buy on Warren a couple weeks ago. I was like, nah, nope. Nope.
Yeah, I know. I traded Warren to Cap over here, who was the Najee owner, back. But
I'm glad you talked me into it.
yeah, we didn't want anything to do with him. Then it worked in that trade, and it was like, oh, okay, yeah, that worked. Well, we're kind of.
It only happened because I said yes. If I had said no, he'd still be garbage.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that the story?
Story
of our lives.
He'd be sitting on my roster doing nothing.
That's just it.
Yeah.
Everything has like stuff from last night's game in it here, or is just plain silly. Let's see. Well, that's where we started. So
I was like, let's see. Let me take a look at one of these many leagues.
And do y'all have any trade questions in your own leagues? Tony already pulled one off yesterday, or he would have had one to talk about.
I'm one of those
All
guys.
right, so Kareem Hunt, how do we think that he's going to look moving forward with no Watson?
Well, I mean,
It can be really good.
High
It could
volume.
just be him and Ford doing their thing.
But Ford had a really great game last week.
Ford's
Yeah,
still
I mean,
the lion's share. Hunt's going to be very touchdown dependent.
Yeah.
The issue with Hunt is he even with kind of Ford being banged up, he's not been getting the targets in the passing game, and that's kind of what you kind of leaned on with Hunt when Chubb was, when he was part of the 1-2 rotation with Chubb, is he was the receiving down back. He'd get those targets, give you the receptions, but without those receptions, he's very touchdown dependent. His efficiency has not been very good. The one thing in favor of Hunt is he seems to be the running back of choice once they get inside the 5.
Yeah.
Hunt is definitely a bruiser now.
He's at a
the one
touchdown
getting
in
those
5 straight
touches.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's if they can get there, though, now.
I was going to say, without Deshaun Watson, what are the chances they get inside the 5 very often?
Well, that's just it. Like Hunt
slow.
has not averaged 4 yards a carry in any of the last 5 games.
Right. Especially
He's
with them
barely
going up
averaging
against
3.
this week. Right.
But he's
Where do you
got
rank-
6 touchdowns in 5 games.
Just because you're talking about the Pittsburgh's backs, like where do you rank him with Warren and guys like Najee?
I'd take both of them over Kareem Hunt.
Yeah,
I think.
no, I would too.
Like
Yeah, same.
Najee's at least been turning a leaf the last 2 weeks. Like he's at least, I don't know if he's starting to feel threatened by Warren. He's like, oh, I got to turn this up.
He
But,
finally
like,
figured it out and still lost his job.
Yeah, right? Like it's craziness. But
That's great.
yeah. I'd take both Pittsburgh guys in their schedule over Hunt at least. And
Yeah.
Ford's tough. Like Ford is just that. He's what James Conner was for years. Like guy will rush for like 100 yards, super efficient, but no touchdowns, and breaks your heart.
Yeah, because I like Jerome Ford a lot, but he
So do I.
probably won't score a lot of touchdowns the rest of the year. Sad.
Mhm.
Very, very sad.
Yes.
Oh, here's a popular question we've gotten on every show this week, but this one. Y'all playing C.J. Stroud or Jared Goff this week?
Jared Goff.
Really?
I'm on Stroud.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Stroud as well.
I'm riding the Stroud wave until he gives me a reason to get off, man.
Yeah, they're playing the Bears, and it's divisional, and I'm a Bears fan, and I'm all about the Goff train this week. I think we're gonna get slapped, but we get slapped every week. So
I think it's funny because I play in a 2-quarterback league, and those are my 2 quarterbacks are Stroud.
nice.
So I've got them both going.
There you go.
It's like picking your favorite son, then. So good luck.
I got to play them both, so it's nice. I don't have to make a decision. I don't see any way you bench Stroud, not in this matchup.
Yeah.
And just for a second, you got to think about game script. So think about the game script in this Detroit game. Detroit has a phenomenal run D. I can very much see this game becoming a David Montgomery revenge game, kind of riding the backs, Montgomery and Gibbs. And we might not see Goff do an awful lot. On the other hand, Stroud, especially with the banged up Dameon Pierce, although Singletary looked halfway decent. This team, it's 50 attempts a game passing the ball. We got Nico Collins coming back. Schultz is healthy. The whole team, I just think there's no way for me I'm benching Stroud. Stroud is I'm starting him over. I would even start him over a guy like a Josh Allen this week.
There you go.
Yeah, and I was happy. I got to see Stroud again in Cincinnati last week, and he was most excellent. Absolutely amazing. Everyone was stellar. Even Noah Brown appeared out of nowhere. Dallas is a trash offense. They didn't know how to use him.
Well, name the quarterbacks right now who you feel if you were gonna bet a month's salary on a quarterback this week posting a 50 or 45 point game, who are you putting your money on? I think CJ Stroud just did it 2 weeks ago, so I think he's one of the guys at least that's got to be on the short list.
He's got to be a contender, yeah, absolutely. Well, you shot my Goff pick down, that's for sure.
I like Goff. I'm a big Goff guy.
Oh yeah, no, but this week though, you're correct.
Game script, I think, sets up for more of a CJ Stroud type game. Even when they're ahead, they're passing the ball. They just don't run it much.
This is true.
Yeah.
It's because the running game is bad and Singletary went in.
Who else could do that? Let's see who else could.
What's up with that, Cap, our Houston fan? Why is Singletary better than Pierce?
Well, first he isn't. The Bengals. So last week they were missing Trey Hendrickson. So there really wasn't much pressure coming behind the line. So Singletary was having his way with that offense. And, he looked pretty good. But 2 weeks ago, he was not good. He had like 13 carries for 26 yards. Dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. But, so like Singletary was a pleasant surprise last week, but everyone ran over the Bengals. I was shocked we were still in that game leading at halftime. It was an unreal atmosphere. All right, so matchups this week that could be possible. Tua is always a threat to put up 50, especially against the Raiders.
James, I got
the Raiders are somehow.
We got a super chat.
Nope.
Hey,
Ricky Rice, appreciate you, my guy. Fields or Dobbs this week? Miracle Whip inedible? Okay, it's a two-part question. Let's go with Fields or Dobbs first.
I think I'm going Dobbs. Like, Dobbs has been nice. Like,
really nice.
it's weird. It's been nice.
Yeah, I like that matchup against Denver too.
Yeah.
Give me Dobbs.
Oh, like give Fields a week to come back. Like, give him a week to figure stuff out.
Yeah. First week back makes me nervous.
I mean,
especially with the Lions as hungry as they are, like, and they're playing in Detroit. Like, I think you're gonna have to go with Dobbs, just because Fields needs a minute. He needs to get his bearing straight especially after an injury. I think.
Yeah.
I hate saying this, but
what do you think there, Professor?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Ricky. I'm one of these fantasy owners. I made the mistake, and I bought Fields in a couple different leagues this year, and he's been a massive disappointment. Fortunately for me, I grabbed C.J. Stroud late, and so I've been starting him since week 2. So he has saved my season. Yeah. I'm not at a point where I trust Fields, and Dobbs has been delivering.
He's a serious man.
He's a serious man.
Half man, half alien.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's a serious man.
Wait, so do you guys think, real quick, do you think that the Vikings have his jersey in the gift shop or in the store
100%.
already? Because if they do, he's going to play even better. Like,
100%.
I mean, they better get it.
I mean, he might be dating Taylor Swift's sister. I'm just saying. All right, now we got to hit the second part of that question. Is Miracle Whip inedible?
Yes,
I submit
Hellman's
that it is.
Better.
What'd you say, Cap?
Hellman's way better.
Yeah, dude. Go with real mayonnaise. That Miracle Whip crap is gross.
Post 10 years old, absolutely inedible.
Yeah.
Also, Costco mayonnaise is Hellman's mayonnaise.
When I was a little kid, my parents always bought the Miracle Whip crap for sandwiches, and it was gross. It's sour. It's nasty. They eat mayonnaise.
Sour.
Mayonnaise.
It is sour. What about you, Tony? You eat Miracle Whip?
Not a Miracle Whip guy.
Okay.
Gross, man.
I grew up on it. We were poor.
What's that?
Yeah.
You grew up on it?
I said I grew up on it. We were poor. I'm sure we could have got mayonnaise too, but for some reason we did eat it.
Yeah. My dad just liked it better. It wasn't because we couldn't afford mayonnaise. He just liked Miracle Whip better. And that's what we got. And I hated it. But what can you do? All right, man. That's all the questions we got in the chat. That's all we have on the network for now. Our time is up. I appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with me. Chat. Appreciate you hanging out, Ricky. For chat. It's been fun. We'll have to get this crew back together again soon on a Tuesday night or something. First show.
Good to see you.
A little more energy. I'm here.
Amber just got back in the country. Professor's rusty. Captain's bored and won't quit talking over people.
What do you mean I'm rusty? I don't feel rusty.
I think you were great. I was like, I'm rusty if anybody's rusty. It's like,
you were amazing. I'm just busting your chops. You know that.
Yeah. Tony's already in Christmas mode.
Yeah, he is. He's in Christmas mode. The rest of us are in turkey mode. So he's ahead of the game.
Wisdom to all the children. All the fantasy football children.
Getting a jump start.
Captain's actually closer to being Santa than any of us because he's in Canada. He's the closest to the North Pole.
This is true.
Actually, right now you're in Texas. So it doesn't really. But anyways, appreciate everybody. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you guys Sunday morning on Spilt Coffee before the games kick off.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
See y'all later.